Hi guys, welcome to this amazing design section with Pexels. My name is Sunday, and today I'm going to be walking you through an amazing topic. And like we all know, the Figma config is currently on, and there are a lot of amazing features that have been released at the moment. And as a junior designer, as a senior designer, as an intermediate, as a Figma user, let me just say that way, you must be curious about these features, and you must be interested in anything that I have to teach you about these features. So in today's video, I'm going to walk you around one of these features, and it's an amazing feature, I promise. Just to recap, Figma released a couple of features like Figma Make. Yeah, we released Figma Make. We released Figma Buzz. Yep, we released Figma Sites. We had Figma Grid, yeah. So and Figma Draw. Those are the ones I can actually just figure out right now. But then these are some of the new features that were launched by Figma, and I'll be taking one of them today, and I'll take my time to explain this one to you, make you understand it well, break it down just for you to get the right information on how to use this feature and how to get started with it. So the one we're going to be treating today is called, can you guess? No, I guess you can't, but it's called Figma Grid. So I know a lot of us has used grid, a lot of us has been using grid, we use column grid, we use row grid, just a couple of times we have touched this feature. But then when you hear Figma grid, you tend to question yourself like, is it that I've not used the grid before, or there's something new about the grid? And we'll get to dive in, right? So we'll get to dive in. By the time we get to dive in, we'll know if there's something new about the grid, if it's normal grid we've been using before, or if there is a special feature that we need to learn, and we'll learn it on this video. So stay tuned while we get started. So on in today's video, we're going to have let me go to my Figma. I believe everyone can see my screen, but yeah. So we are going to have first of all, let's create our image. So we're going to have some portraits, we're going to have some landscape image. I think I just need about 4 of them. Then this seems too much. This seems too much. Okay, so let's make the width of this 600. Let's make the height 1K. So that's 1000. So let's make this 2/3. So let's make this 800, and let's make this 550. So this is a landscape. This is a landscape size container, and this is a portrait, right? So we're gonna deal with landscape, we're gonna deal with portrait. So I think I will duplicate this once more. Yes, and I'll have this come out here again. So let's go to Unsplash. Let's fill this with some image, because this is what we're going to use to sort out our grid. I believe if you have your system with you, you could just follow up with what we are doing. And if you don't get it, you could just drop a comment on Splash. That is a plugin for image. Yeah. So on Splash, let's check it out. All right, so I think yes, so this is the plugin. We want to put in some image here. So what do we search for? What do we search for? Let's go with food. Yeah, let's go with food. So I think let's pick this here. Yep, I think that's good. Let's have Okay, let's pick this here. Then let's take this down here. Let's have this burger here. All right. So let's take one more landscape image. Okay, let's just go with this. I think I don't really like any of this. Okay, let's go with this. Right. So I think we are ready for this. So let me just select 4 of these together, give them a corner radius of, let's say, 24. Just give them rounded corner, adjust their corner smoothing. I think this is perfect. This is perfect. Wow, that's perfect. So we have this now, and I have this frame here. So I'll just bring in a frame. We could literally select any of this frame, but let's go with MacBook Air. Yeah, let's go with MacBook Air. I think this seems to be too, these guys are too small. So I'll just press the K and reduce this to 800. It automatically reduce this. So I'll reduce these guys to 600. All right, so I think I'm good with this. So we're going to rename this frame. We're going to rename this frame to Figma Grid. Figma Grid. Yeah, so we have our frame, just like you saw me pick this, clicking this frame button and making, like, just coming here to pick the MacBook Air, which is 120 times 832. I renamed this particular layout to Figma Grid. So you don't need to make this an auto layout. You just need to have this like a normal layout like you have in Figma, right? Just like a normal frame. So we have this here now. What we need to do is, if we come down here, you see position, you see layout, and when you get to layout, you see flow. And in this flow, you see 4 different menus. You go to the fourth one, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the fourth one. You click on it. Why you are selecting this Figma grid layout? You see, I was selecting this and I clicked on this fourth one. Immediately I clicked on this fourth one, what's happened? It divided this grid part into 4 pieces, right? So it means that this layout now is not just a normal layout again. If you come back to here where we had layout before, it is now an auto layout, meaning we can place objects in this and arrange the objects using Figma Grid. But Figma Grid is more like auto layout. So if you previously understood auto layout, this would be easy for you to catch up with, right? So if you come to this now, you could see that we have these 4. We have these 4 here. We have these 4 here. So if you come to this setting, like this properties panel, you can see that we have 2 times 2, meaning 2 rows, 2 columns. 2 rows, 2 columns. That's literally what it's trying to tell us, right? 2 rows, 2 columns. So you can see it now, 2, 2. If you hover on this, you see number of columns, you see number of rows. So from top to bottom is rows, from left to right, or from right to left is column. So if we increase this, to 4 and we press enter, you see 4 rows, 1 column, right? So if we, sorry, 4 columns, 1 row. So if we decide to increase this to 4 times 2 now, you can see that we have 4 here and we have 2 here, right? You can see that we have 4 here and we have 2. So that's literally we setting the number of grid I want to on this layout. So since we know the number of grid we want to have now, let's say we have these 8 grids, right? So we can literally come here and now we want to place these objects or these elements or these frames or this image inside the grid, right? So what we do is we just pick this here. I want to bring this close. So we'll have a clear view or a clearer view. So if I'm dragging this now, come in. Let me place this in the middle. So when I'm trying to fix this here, one thing you can see is that as I'm hovering around each of all these boxes, you can see like a light shadow, a light blue shadow is coming up on those boxes to show me the one. I like the one that I want to place my object in. So if I hover on this, you can see. If I hover on this, you can see. If I hover on this, you can see. So let's say we place this here. Let's say we place this here. I don't want to place it in two. I want to place it in one. So if we place this particular image in this grid here, what we can literally do is we can resize it. We can resize it to take two of these boxes. We can resize it to take four. So if we drag it to take two, you can see, but it's not full yet. So if we drag it down, you can see we have resized this to take four. Do you understand? We have resized this to take four. We have resized this to take four, right? We have resized this to take four of these grid boxes. So if we come here now and we pick one of these and we drag it down, you can literally drop it down here. One thing you must understand about grid is that the grid do not care about the size of this image when it was outside. It's literally bringing it in to make it responsive based on the size of this layout here now. So if we drag this to fit into two, you can see we have it fitting into two of these boxes. So this one takes up four, this takes up two. We could come here now and come and drag this down and drop it here. Dropping it in this box, if I pick it up again, you can see it's highlighting where I want to drop it. If we drop it here, it's going to be here, but we can drag it to contain two, right? So you can see now, this one contains four boxes and this contains two. And I placed it that way. I could make this to contain one. Come back here, just drag it like this, snap it here, and it's taking up one, right? So I could make it to contain one, I could make it to contain four. I can arrange it however I want to arrange it. But if you notice, there are some lines in between this and in between this. And it doesn't really look good. For me, I don't know about you, but it doesn't really look good for me. So we have to come back and click this Figma Grid frame, come back to the settings and check how can we make these lines between these things look really good. So we can set the gap between columns, which you can make it 16, right? Or we can make it 24. So we can make the gap between columns 24, which you can see that the gap between this and this 4. So remember, columns is from left to right, rows is from top to bottom. So if we come here and make this to 24, you can see that from top to bottom, the spacing has been adjusted, right? So we can set the spacing between, just like auto layout. Like I said, if you know how to use auto layout, this will be pretty easy for you. So just like auto layout, you can set the spacing between from left to right, the spacing from top to bottom. So we have set that here now by clicking this gap. If you hover on it, you see gap between columns and gap between row. You choose the one you want to set and you adjust it. Then if you come here now, we can see the padding, which is the space on the edge of this box, which is the outer space, not the inner space. We can set from left to right. We can set it from top to bottom. We can set it. We can click on Control or Command on your Mac. When you click, hold down Command and select this one of these boxes, it will select all of them. But let's not do it that way. Let's just select it one by one. So if we have this now, we could give the outer spacing 32. That's from left to right. And we could give from top to bottom 32. And now you see that our grid is ready. This is amazing. Our grid is ready, right? Our grid is ready. So you can see this now. We can come here. We can pick, okay, let us customize this background. Let's customize the background. I don't want this white feeling. I don't want this white effect. I don't want this white vibe. Let's go for something a little bit light. Let's go for something a little bit light, right? So you can see we come here, we select gradient, and I want to switch this to white. Yeah, I want to switch this to white, the white side of the design. Okay. So you can see now we have our gradient in this, right? We have our gradient in this, and we can make this responsive. We can make this responsive. You can see it's not changing, like it's quite responsive, more like auto layout, right? So you can see this is our perfect usage of grid. So in this video, we learned how to use grid, how to set the gap between the grid, right? How to set the padding, how to set the margin, the inner space, the outer space. Like we learned all this. And you see, it's pretty responsive. We can scale it down, we can scale it up. We can come here, click on this particular one, and select this auto and switch. You can see that we can switch. Sorry. You can see that we can drag, like, sorry, it's one of these on select. You can drag this up. It's gonna create more, like more boxes down here, right? It's gonna create more boxes down here. So you can see that once you drag this, it's gonna create more boxes. Why is it creating more boxes? Why is it creating more boxes? Because when we are dragging it up, you can see this blue highlight here. Do you want to place it here, right? Or when you come up here, you can see, do you want to place it in this particular box? So if I drop it here, you can see what it did there, right? So you can actually come here, you can swap these two together. You can bring this to the left, bring this to the right. Just click on this, play around with it, make it responsive, right? So now our grid is responsive. So that is one of the amazing features of Figma. You can now put this in maybe an hero section that you want to use multiple image. You could put this together. You could even use this as your main design itself. Like maybe you're designing something, you want to create like a table, you could use grid for tables. You could come here, you could select this Figma grid as the main layout itself. Sorry. So you could select this Figma grid, which is the main layout itself. You could come up here, you could increase the boxes, just play around with the boxes, play around with the boxes. You could see, you could have as many of them as you want to have, right? You can have as many of them as you want to have. So this is one of the exciting features in Figma that was released recently. So when you want to build maybe an hero section or a hero section that wants to use multiple image, you don't have to bother about, okay, how do I fix it? How do I put this? How do I put this together? You can literally use your grid. You can literally swap image with ease, which you can easily do with auto layouts easily before, right? So you can easily do this now. You can scale it down. You can increase it. You can reduce it based on the resolution of your screen. So this is literally the grid feature that I've introduced to you. And I hope you learned something new in this video and you subscribe and like our Pexels YouTube channel. So once again, my name is Sunday. I'm your facilitator for this section, and I believe you had a wonderful session with us. Yeah, this video is made by Pexels, and Pexels is an international design school that has trained over 5,000 UI UX designers. We have virtual classes, we have physical classes. You can always do well to reach out to us on Instagram, on Twitter, even on YouTube, right? Or call the numbers that are displayed on our website, right? So you can literally just reach out to us on any of our socials and we'll be there for you. So if you want to learn UI UX, go straight to Pexels. We'll be expecting you, and we'll be hoping that in our next video, we are going to deal with something very, very amazing and important to you. So like this video if you really love it, like this video if you enjoy the content, like this video if you want to get more from us, and also share and do well to anticipate something bigger and better from us the next time we meet. My name is Sunday, and I'll just call it a day and call it a wrap. Thank you guys for joining this section once again.